Hello. Trying something new today, doing a product review. Never done one before. I've done a written one, never done a recorded one, but slightly different from the usual from the well, it's once over, but different from that, different from the game reviews. I've been trying a new product on the Switch. Switch is a cracking machine, but there are some games that don't quite work well on it when you're playing handheld. Obviously, if you're playing docks, you've got the Pro controller, which is great. But when you're playing handheld, you're stuck with the Joy-Cons, and they can be awkward for racing games and for some FPS games, for the twin-stick shooters. They can be awkward to use. So I picked up this, the HORI Split Pad Pro, the Daemon X Machina version. I would like to say this is a special edition, but I've never seen a version that's not branded like this. So this could just be the only version of it. I might be wrong, but who knows? But yeah, I picked one of those up because I'd initially been put off because they said like it's not great for portability, but I don't really play away from home. I don't really play dock that much. I'm handheld at home. So the chance to try it out on some other games is really good. Now, Joy-Cons are lovely. We know Joy-Cons are lovely. They look absolutely brilliant. I love these ones, the purple and yellow ones. I love them. The Split Pad Pro doesn't have quite the same effect. Do you know the cheap Android grips you can get that turns your phone into a gaming device, or the ones that have been built like that and they look like cheap Android tablets with crappy controllers put on them? Yeah, that is what we kind of get with the Split Pad Pro. It's, get that in top, nasty. It looks nasty. However, appearances can be deceiving. I think Jeremy Clarkson-ish then, don't know what that was about. Yeah, it makes the Switch feel like you've got a proper controller in your hand. It's got the back paddles that feel they're quite nicely put. The back paddles, sorry, the triggers nicely placed, the bumpers nicely placed. You've got two really decent analog sticks there. They feel quality. Be interested if you get into those and replace those with maybe an Xbox One analog stick at some point. Maybe something I'll try one day down the line. Semi-decent D-pad. It's a little bit spongy. It's not the best, but it's clearly not the worst. Hori know what they're doing. Buttons have a good feel to them. They're not spongy. They've got a decent little, can you hear that? Decent little click to them. All the features you need. Got a couple of back paddles on it, which I found great for changing gear. Yeah, in racing games, really good for changing gear. So, you know, it feels like when I used to use the steering wheel. And yeah, I found myself a bit of trying to steer with it as well. Yeah, that's bad, isn't it, really? But I've done that. But yeah, those paddles on the back are really good. Don't really like using them for other sorts of games, Twitch-style games, like shooters and things like that. I always kind of catch them accidentally, which can be a pain. So I don't use them for that. What's really good, though, is when you are playing something like a Doom, for example, having that grip and having it feel like a proper controller, you actually feel more in control. I was attacking demons better than I was using the Joy-Cons. And if we go back to the example of Grid Auto Sport, I tried playing with the Joy-Cons and set a few lap times, actually tried to get my best possible lap time. And what I found was I was very edgy because I was never felt like, with the size of the analog sticks on there, you never quite feel in control. It feels maybe there's not enough travel to make it work. So with this, oops, sorry, that went weird. With this, proper analog sticks, proper grip meant that I was able to go around those corners properly. I was able to feel in control. Now, the lack of rumble is a shame, especially when you're playing a racing game, because that rumble really helps you feel where the road is. And excuse me, it is a bit of a trade-off, but it's one that I'm willing to take. Yeah, ugly, really ugly, but that really doesn't matter. This is a really lovely device to have. I'm not sponsored by HORI in any way, shape, or form. I haven't got enough subscribers to get sponsorship, but yeah, that's it. It's a really good device, a nice alternative to have on the Switch to get the most out of it. And what's really good with it as well, actually, and this is something I found almost accidentally, and I'm sure others know about this. I'm sure I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but because it's a Switch, you get the option then of mixing it up. So I was able to, at one point where I needed really fine control on the right stick for a twin stick shooter I was playing, but I didn't need it on the left. I was comfortable with the Joy-Con on the left, so I switched it, mixed it up, and again, yeah, movement on the left is really fine, and then I've got that proper control, that proper grip on the right to be able to do those other bits. Works really well. Now, it's a shame it is not wireless, and there's no adapter to have them as a separate controller, because, again, you're really going to need to use your Joy-Cons, and they're a bit crampy at times when you're docked or you're trying to play with friends. It'd be nice to have an option to maybe turn this into even a wired controller with a wire. That would have been nice, but there's not, and it is one of the minor downsides to it. But for what it does and for what I'm using it for, yeah, absolutely bob on, absolutely perfect to have. It's, I say, ugly, but it does the job, just like me, really. Listen, these are a bit odd, and they always are. In previous video, I will link it there, up there, back there. I'll link it there. I've got ADHD, and yeah, I lose where I'm going with stuff, and I'm trying to focus to get it out. But yeah, there we go. Subscribe if you like what we're doing. It helps us. There'll be more of these, possibly with video reviews, more chats to the camera for sure. But yeah, thank you for this one. Thank you for joining in. And whatever the next video is, I will see you next time. Stay safe.